If you're between 18 and 21 and you're a man, congratulations, because you're finally an adult and you're about to enter into the workforce and entering one of the most confusing, complex, and difficult periods of your life, which will be your 20s. So, if someone told you, if you heard parents, if you had person on the internet and other people in your life that told you, oh, your 20s would be the most incredible years of your life, it would be the best decade that you will ever live, they are fucking lying. That's a straight lie. It's not like that. Your 20s will be a decade made of complexity. It would be full of growing responsibilities, uncertainty, imposter syndrome, identity crisis, quarter life crisis, dying dreams, sacrifices, castrated relationship, and you will be constantly struggling between paying your bills and becoming an adult that should take responsibility and find your place inside the society. And at the same time, you will try to struggle with self-actualization, what actually make you feel fulfilled, what makes you feel alive. You will start to struggle with all of that different things and it will be fucking hard. So if you're expecting your 20s to be a fabulous journey when everyone is laying down a red carpet for you to walk on, I hate to break it to you, it won't be like that. Absolutely not. It would be in fact the contrary. No one will consider you because it's hard, because in your 20s, you are old enough for people to treat you with the responsibility of an adult, but at the same time, you are not really competent. You are not really someone who has gained his status. So people demand a lot from you, and at the same time, they don't really respect you. So it's very difficult to navigate your 20s. I will be 24 in a couple of weeks, and in my 20s were pretty hard for me. Not so much on an external level, but more on a introspective level. It was full of changes for me. It was full of crisis for me, my 20s. And I want to be really sincere with you. I don't have things figured out. I guess no one has things figured out, but I have some insights. I have some ideas and some lessons that I would like to share with you so that you can at least get some things right and get this advice from someone who is ahead from you. So the only thing that I can do is sharing my experience and hope that it could help you to do a couple of things right in your 20s. So here's what I've learned in 4 years of getting into my 20s. The first thing that I've learned is get in shape now, because the more you wait, the harder it gets. I was pretty lucky because when I started doing sport when I was really young. I was 7 years old when I started doing judo, and since then I never stopped. So it's around, I think 17 years, something like that I practice sport, I do judo, and I also started to go to the gym and working out. And it's very easy for me, it's very natural. It's something that is part of my identity, and I will try to keep working out from now to the last day that I will be on this earth. But not everyone has this habit. Not everyone has done sport since they were a kid. And if you're not doing sport, if you're not doing some form of weightlifting or cardio or something like that, start now, because when you begin to work, it's much more difficult. You have more responsibilities, you have more cognitive load, and it's very hard to educate yourself about what a good training is, about what you need to do in order to be healthy, what you need to do in order to stay in shape. And in fact, it's much more difficult to, exponentially difficult to grow and become fit than remaining fit. To maintaining fitness, it's very easy. You need like one training per week, something like that. It's not a big deal to maintain your progress, but to actually start to get progress, it's much more difficult. It requires a lot of time, a lot of effort. You need to look at your lifestyle, at your nutrition, all of this crap. And when you're in your 20s, it's easier, especially early 20s, because you don't have to think about a lot of stuff. You don't have that much responsibilities. You have likely an easy job that will allow you to go to the gym and educate yourself about nutrition. So start going to the gym now, start to educate yourself about what you need to do in order to get in shape, and then maintain it as you get older, because it's not impossible, but it's much more difficult once you get older, because you have time and energy to do that. So please take your fitness seriously, and your future self will thank you. The second advice that I will give you is explore as much as you can. Since I was 18 to right now I believe 16 to right now, I tried a lot of shit. And I'm glad about it, because when you're 18, you're forced to pick a major and a job that you're supposed to start specializing in it. How much stupid is that? It's very stupid. You're likely to pick the wrong thing. Of course you're going to pick the wrong thing. You're fucking 18. I'm 24, I don't know shit. You're 18, for sure you don't know shit. You gotta explore and see what you're talented about. You gotta explore and see what kind of things make you excited, what kind of things you're good, what kind of things you're bad. Okay? You have no idea what you don't like or like. You have no idea which skills you might need to specialize in. You picked a major probably based on your interest or your curiosity at the time, at best, or you choose that based on the job market or what your parents told you is the safe way. But guess what? The job market is changing so fast. Jobs that were safe 10 years ago are probably going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. So don't look at the job market. Don't look at about what you believe is the safe way, because there is no safe way. Start to explore and see the things that you enjoy. See what are the things that you are talented in. In fact, I tried over the last 8 years, let's see what I try. I tried to be a strength and conditioning coach. I tried to be basically a personal trainer, but for athletes. I tried to become the greatest judo player that I can possibly can. Spoiler, I failed miserably because I never reached a satisfying result. I worked as a gardener for a period of time. I worked as a physical therapist in a retirement home, and I'm working in a private clinic. I took acting classes. I'm trying to do content creation and writing online. I try to explore different things. I'm writing about psychology. I'm writing about flow. I'm talking about all of these different craps. I'm even giving kind of career advice right now. I would like to become a good educational content creator right now. Not only because of the money that I could make from this path, but also because I feel excited to wake up in the morning. I like to write. I like to share my ideas. I like to package what is in my mind and convey that to other people in the most concise and precise way as possible. I'm not the best at it. I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying to improve. So my advice would be try as much jobs and extra activities as you possibly can. In fact, look at things that you are talented at the thing that you want to become best at it. Find activities that make you lose track of time, activities that make you get into the flow, and activities that you perceive as meaningful. Okay? If you find something that have all of these four criteria, you have find the perfect thing for you. And my third advice would be take asymmetric bets, but have a plan Z. What are asymmetric bets? Asymmetric bets are bets or things that you like to risk and invest on that have a high return but low risk. Okay, these are things that if shit go good, well, you have exponential returns. If things go bad, well, you wasted a little bit of time, you maybe wasted a little bit of money, but you gained at least some bit of experience. You see that is very asymmetric because it have a lot of returns, not much risks. Okay? For me, content creation, writing, and doing all this crap is an asymmetric bet, because if things go good, well, I can make a living out of it. I can be someone who gets paid to share his ideas online, which is something very cool, something that excites me a lot. If things go bad, no one will watch my video. Maybe I will receive a couple of mean comments, but my life doesn't really get shackled by it. Okay? So, in fact, you should take asymmetric bets, but in taking asymmetric bets, you're going to use a little bit of your time. You are focusing on one thing instead of another, okay? So you need a plan Z. What is a plan Z? The plan Z is the thing that if everything goes wrong, at least you know that you have something that will allow you to eat and pay your bills. So in my case, I want to take content creation and writing as serious as I possibly can. I want to make it as my main priority. I want to make it as my main goal, but I have a degree in physical therapy, which is, as a good job market, have a lot of requests. There is a lot of possibility to grow also. It's a well-paid job. It's a job that won't be replaced by AI. In the future, it's very unlikely to be replaced. So I am pretty in a safe position. It would make me feel self-actualized, but at least I can pay my bills. Okay, worst case scenario, I am in a better situation than most people. Okay, so I have an asymmetric bet, but I also have a plan Z. I have something that I have a safety string that I can pull if things go wrong, at least. It's not the ideal scenario for me to working as a physical therapist because I don't enjoy it as much, but there is worse in life, let's say. So, take an asymmetric bet, but have a plan Z. The fourth thing that I want to ask you to do is push your limits, okay? Push your limits, because when you're in your 20s, you can recover very, very fast. You can recover very, very fast. You don't have that much things to lose. So you should be able to see what is the point that you can push yourself. So a couple of questions that I would like to tell you are, in your fitness, for example, how much can you train before getting injured? I know that for a fact that I'm able to train 9 times a week before getting injured because I've done that before in the past. There was training camps when I trained 6 times in 3 days of doing judo without getting injured. It was very heavy, it was very draining for me on a physical level, but I know that I can do that. How much work can you sustain in a week before burning out? For a period of my life, I worked around 11 to 10 hours a day for 5 days a week. So I know that I can work at least 50 hours a week before getting completely drained. This is something I can do for a consistent period of time. How much sleep can you miss before starting to go crazy? I know for a fact that I cannot miss that much sleep, because if I miss more than 6 hours a night, I start to go crazy. I start to dysregulate my emotions. I start to get really, really tired. I start to become nihilistic, depressed, all of that shit. I cannot afford to miss my sleep. How much people can you talk to a party before getting exhausted? You might discover that you are more social than you believe if you really try to talk to other people in your environment. How many projects can you juggle at the same time without getting overwhelmed? I know that I can do a lot of shit at the same time, but not that much. Like 3-4 projects at a time, or I will start to get really, really overwhelmed with the stuff that I can do. And how many rejections can you face from jobs or from the opposite sex without feeling bad for yourself? How many shots you can do? I'm exploring the relationship side of my life right now, because it's something that I neglected for a long period of time, and I realized that in fact I can face rejections better than I believed. In fact, I don't really give a fuck right now if a girl rejects me, but years ago for me it was very difficult. And I found out that also in jobs, I also don't give that much a fuck if someone rejects me at a job. It's not something that bothers me that much, even though I believed it was something that I thought years ago it could crush me. So if you're ambitious, if you're driven, and if you want to build a life worth living, you need to be able to answer this question. Not this question specifically, because this is for my situation, but you gotta be able to see where you can push yourself, and from there understand, okay, this is my limit. This is how much I can push myself before feeling bad or before causing damage to myself, okay? So you can, if you don't know where to push yourself, you don't know what are your limits, you don't know what is the result that you can reach, and something really when you try to push your limits, something really wonderful happens, which is a beautiful feeling that I experienced, and I hope that you can feel as well. You find out that you are not as fragile as you believe. It's crazy, guys. When you try to push your limits, you find out that you can reach much more than you were expecting it. And you will start to think, oh fuck, if I break my limit right now, what is something else that I believe is impossible and I can actually reach? This is the most important lesson that I want to give it to you, is to push your fucking limits. In order to push your fucking limits, you need to learn how to set goals, sorry. Because when you're in your 20s, when you're an adult, you're out of education. And the good thing that no one tells you what to do anymore when you're an adult. That's beautiful. Now you can do whatever you want, but the problem is, fuck, no one tells you what to do anymore. That's something difficult, because you have to learn how to look for things that you want to get and aim to arrive there. If you don't become your own self-master, you will become slave of your own impulses. If you don't learn how to look on a goal in your environment and pursue that as hard as you possibly can, you will start to look at the things that are more easily accessible, like junk food, addictions, substance abuse, porn usage, all of that stuff. And you have to learn how to set authentic goals for yourself and pursue them with grit. And by authentic goals, I mean sit down in silence, take a piece of paper, and truly ask yourself what you want. Not what your parents want for you, not what society wants for you, not what your teachers or friends want for you, what you want for yourself. And I know it sounds corny, but listen to your heart, okay? Pay attention to your desire, pay attention to what makes you feel fulfilled, what makes you excited, what makes you wake up in the morning and say, fuck yes, let's go and take it. Listen to this voice that you can feel inside of you and pursue that thing, okay? It will give you much more information about yourself along the way. So the video is over. I hope that you found something useful out of this 5 advice that I gave you. And if you found that useful, or if you have any kind of doubts, if you have any kind of questions that you would like to discuss, or you just want to have a little chat with me, you can book a free one-on-one call when we can discuss about what are your problems, or you can DM me on Instagram. You can find that in the description. I would be very happy to have a chat with you and understand better what are the problems of young men right now and solve them. I want to help people to have a life worth living. I want to help people to find meaning and build satisfaction in their day-to-day existence, because it's much more difficult right now than I believe it was in the past. So the video is over. Hope it was useful. Remember to aim upward as always.